Good morning. As you can see, the light is shining down on me from Hokmah onto the Tifereth that is Lon. The 8s, 9s, and 10s are all the mutable signs of the zodiac. Okay, so cups are water, and mutable zodiac sign is Pisces. So these are the 3 cards of Pisces, the 3 decans of Pisces, the 8, 9, and 10 of cups. And that's what we're going to talk about today as the light shines down on me from Hokmah. It's a Thoth tarot inside joke. So, Emperor and all of that, you know. Okay. Anyway, let's start with the 8 of Cups. Okay. Now remember, the 7 of Cups was debauch, which was a pretty rough card. But here we have Saturn in Pisces. The 8 of Cups, indolence. Saturn in Pisces. 0 degrees to 10 degrees Pisces, so the first decan of Pisces. February 19th through February 28th. Now, my wife's birthday is the 27th and my son's is the 28th. So I have to be very careful what I say about this card. The original title is Lord of Abandoned Success. The Golden Dawn model is, from clouds at the bottom of the cards, a hand appears, holding the stems of lotuses over water lilies. There are only 2 flowers that bend over and fill to overflowing the 2 central cups. The overflow pours into, but does not fill, the lowest 3 cups. There are 3 cups above the 2 central cups, which remain empty. The Queen scale color for Hode. Hode is number 8 on the Tree of Life, which is attributed to Mercury, sphere of Mercury. The color scale is orange. The 4 scales for Saturn are indigo, black, blue-black, and black rayed blue. The 4 scales for Pisces are crimson, ultraviolet, buff, flecked silver, white, light translucent pinkish brown stone color. The formula is number 8, Hode, of Cups, Brya, plus Saturn in Pisces equals indolence. Much to my wife's disappointment, this is her birthday card. Crowley didn't have much nice to say about the 8 of Cups. In fact, he calls it the German measles of Christian mysticism and the very apex of unpleasantness. That does not describe either my wife or my son, I might add, much to the disagreement with Mr. Crowley. Is it any wonder this card has a bad attitude? Sorry, dear. Saturn is a heavy and hard-nosed downer, and this far down the Tree of Life, delicate Pisces doesn't have enough juice left to put up any kind of fight. This card will have you playing solitaire till dawn with a deck of 51. To quote an old song, Flowers on the Wall. Crowley's description of this unfortunate blending of forces is priceless, and I quote, "This card represents a party for which all preparations have been made, but the host has forgotten to invite the guests, or the caterers have not delivered the good cheer. There is this difference, though, that it is in some way or other the host's own fault." Harris's interpretation of indolence is perfect. A stagnant pool, drooping blossoms. The top 3 cups and the one at the bottom card are empty. The 2 in the center are spilling half their contents onto the Black Sea. See Chapter 20 for a general divinatory meaning of this card. Sorry, 8 of Cups. Okay, let's move on to something happier. Literally. Happiness. The 9 of Cups. When this card comes up in a reading, you're usually thrilled. Talk about fulfillment of desires. 9 of Cups, happiness. Jupiter in Pisces, 10 degrees to 20 degrees Pisces. That'd be roughly March 1st through March 10th. The original title is Lord of Material Happiness. Now, the Golden Dawn model had a hand appearing from clouds at the bottom of the card, holding the stem of lotuses or water lilies, one flower of which overhangs each of 9 cups arranged in 3 rows of 3. Now, it's a 9, so that is attributed to Yesod on the Tree of Life. That's number 9, the foundation of the Tree of Life. It's on the middle pillar. Usually a very good position. The queen scale of color for Yesod is violet. The 4 scales for Jupiter, because it's Jupiter in Pisces. Happy, happy, happy to be there. 4 scales of color for Jupiter: violet blue, rich purple, bright blue, rayed yellow. 4 scales for Pisces: crimson, ultraviolet, buff, flecked silver, white. I feel like Beavis and Butthead. He said buff. Light translucent, pinkish brown, stone color. And the formula is 9, Yesod of Cups, Braya, plus Jupiter in Pisces equals happiness. Is everybody happy? Yes! See what happens when we return to the stability of the middle pillar. This is one of the best cards in the deck. Pisces, being the mutable sign of water, tends to stabilize the element. She is most welcome in Yesod, the sphere of the watery moon. Yesod is also the foundation, the sephira that stabilizes the entire tree of life. This provides a most cozy and satisfying environment for lovable Jupiter to happily enjoy the good life as only Jupiter and his friends can. Jupiter also has an affinity to water. Hesed, that's number 4 on the Tree of Life, Hesed, the sphere of Jupiter, Crowley affirms, quote, represents water in its highest material manifestations. Unquote. Everybody is literally happy. Harris follows the color scales and pumps up the Golden Dawn model by straightening her streams of flowing water as if they were spurting from the lotus flowers and gushing under pressure into the large, bold cups. It's almost like a spritzer, spritzer hose, like a seltzer bottle. Okay. The whole image is one of voluptuous, surreal Victorian clutter. There is hardly any room for her to include the symbols of Jupiter and Pisces at the top and bottom of this card. And DuQuette is right there. She had to squeeze that there. Jupiter and her Pisces is way down there. See Chapter 20 for the general divinatory meaning of this card. And finally, we're finishing off the suit of cups this morning. The 10 of Cups, which Crowley calls satiety. Can you see the tree of life there? Okay. 10 of Cups, satiety. Mars in Pisces. 20 degrees to 30 degrees Pisces. That's roughly March 11th through March 20th. The original title is Lord of Perfected Happiness. The Golden Dawn model. A hand appears from clouds at the bottom of the card, holding the stem of lotus or water lilies, whose flowers pour water into all the cups, which all spill over. The top cup is held sideways by another hand and pours water into the left hand upper cup. The single lotus flower rises above the top cup and is the source of water that fills it. The queen scale for Malkuth is citron, olive, russet, and black. And you'll notice on many tree of life diagrams, Malkuth is broken up into 4 color sections, and those are the colors in Malkuth. The 4 scales for Mars are, again, scarlet, red, Venetian red, bright red, rayed azure, or emerald. The 4 scales for Pisces are crimson or ultraviolet, buff, fleck silver, white, light translucent pinkish brown, and stone color. The formula is 10 or Malkuth plus of cups, Braia, plus Mars in Pisces equals satiety. Crowley advised Harris on the composition of this card, saying, quote, "The background ought to look menacing. There's something very sinister about this card. It suggests the morbid hunger which springs from Surfiat. The craving of a drug addict is the idea. At the same time, of course, is this final agony of the descent into illusion, which renders necessary the completion of the cycle by awakening the eld of the All-Father." That was Crowley, a letter to Harris from Crowley, December 19th, 1939. Had enough? The 10 of Cups could have been filled with the realization of the potential of the suit of cups. Instead, it is just filled with the concept of fullness. The cups have runneth over and are staining the carpet. Crowley blames this on Mars in Pisces. Quote, Mars is the gross, violent, and disruptive force which inevitably attacks every supposed perfection. His energy displays the greatest possible contrast with that of Pisces, which is both peaceful and spiritualized. Unquote. This is the end of the line for the suit of water. Harris ignores the Golden Dawn model and coloring guidelines and creates a tree of life from 10 rather disturbed and tipsy cups. See Chapter 20 for the general divinatory meanings of this card. And so we end our look at the suit of cups, or the individual look at this suit of cups. Tomorrow we will start the disturbing, anxiety-ridden, neurotic, mad world of swords, the small card swords. In the meantime, while we gird our loins for the swords, have a wonderful Native American Heritage Day, which is the day after Thanksgiving, and probably actually should be Thanksgiving. Anyway, if you'll look down on my page, I posted a song that I wrote about my great-grandfather, who was a Cherokee, so I'm kind of a Cherokee, but I don't want to make a big thing out of it. But it's a wild story about how my great-grandfather murdered my great-grandfather. And that's why my grandfather was a bastard. Besides, he was a son of a bitch, too. Okay. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.